Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Ержанова Г.Б. I'm an English teacher at Nazarbayev Intellectual School, Biology and Chemistry in г.Атырау. So today we'll have our lesson in English from the unit City Life, and the theme of the lesson, planning of the sustainable city of the future, and Astana is a city of the future. So learning objectives for today's lesson is S2, asking complex questions to get information about the wide range of general and curricular topics. S5, interact with the peers to make a hypothesis about a wide range of general and curricular topics. And for writing it is W5 and W7. Develop with support coherent arguments supported when necessary by examples and reasons for a wide range of written genres in familiar topics. And in 7 it is using independently appropriate layout at text level on a range of general and curricular topics. And also we have listening task, it is L2, understand specific information in unsupported extended talk on a wide range of general and curricular topics, including the conversation on a limited range of unfamiliar topics. The next is using of English. It is the using of variety topical vocabulary and future forms in active and passive voice. The students should have 1-2 available mistakes. So for today's lesson, the success criteria is to make at least 3 questions about the content of topics, and students should interact with peers and predict ideas on the topic at least 3, and of course gives at least 1 argument for each sentence or headings of the project, and creates project following the plan and responses all the questions. And also using of English, it is to use future tenses in active and passive forms. So all the students will be able to give simple sentences according to the topic, and some students will be able to evaluate their peers' works following the criteria, and most students present their ideas on the project clearly and use future tenses in active and passive forms. So let's start our lesson. First task is a brainstorming exercise. It is city life crosswords. Children should try to find the necessary words on the topic, on the topics. I think there is no difficult word, so please, and the teacher hands out these crosswords for the children. Children, please try to find the words about the city life topical vocabulary. So if you look the words across, here is given 13 words. It is not 13 words, some numbers, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 12, 13. Yes. So try to find these words. And the words given down, it is only 5 words. If the children have any difficulties in meanings of these words, they try to ask, and the teacher tries to give the definition of the words. Yes. So when they have finished doing the crossword, they swap the worksheets, and they try to find each other's spelling mistakes and completing missing words. So I think here is some words that may be difficult. For example, number given across, it is number 7. People put money in them to park their cars. So they try to think and find it. So here is given the word meters, yes. And also given the word down, it is the official or symbolic leader of the city. So they have to find, I think, it is the word mayor. Now, at the end of the doing this crossword, a teacher will show the right answers. This lesson it have the value links with respecting different points of view, and of course working in a team collaboratively. Also, cross-cultural links, it is art and design, geography lesson, and of course critical thinking. They should think critically and to find the words on the topic. Now, previous our lesson was rural life, heaven and hell, and also, of course, advantage and disadvantages of city life and country life. All the tasks connects with the previous learning lessons. So the teacher controls the process of working with the crossword. The main part of the lesson is watching the video pictures of the cities, which is called "Is the City of the Future?" So when they watch these cities, they have to pay attention to the aspects of the city life. So here is given as transport, architecture, and eco-friendliness, and food and water, entertainment, shopping, and the other aspects. So they try to find these aspects in these future cities. So before doing this project work, in the main part, the teacher divides the students into 3 groups with the help of postcards. The postcards cut into the several parts. So the students try to find their pieces to make the full postcard. So if they gather all the pieces of postcard, it is 1 group. So they should be 3 groups made. And when the students look at these cities of the future, they try to make the impression, to have the impression, and to understand what the people want to see the future cities. For example, here is given the self-sufficient city for the 77,000 people to be built in South Korea, Every building would be packed with greenhouses and designed to look like rolling hills. When they watch these pictures of the city of the future, they try to give their opinions. And here is also given the future view of the city Chicago. So it is also one of the good design. The city is surrounded by the green and tall trees and waters, so it looks so magnificent. Yes. Now one of the picture is also given is here, made with balloons. People, I think, it is made. It is planned to. I think that the people in the balloons. So the children, the students try to give their opinions, and so they try to give the imagination of the futuristic cities full of hulking steel buildings, their towers, and architecture. So designers. Designing of the cities, which is made by bioengineered materials, so fed by energy from the sunlight, and sometimes they look like forests than metropolises. So the children get all this information and try to give the imagination, maybe as impression of the cities. So when they start doing their posters of their future city, they try to pay attention, as I said before, this kind of aspects, yes, transport, architecture, eco-friendliness, and also food and water, entertainment, and shopping. They also try to give other aspects, for example, schooling, maybe, yes, maybe young people's entertainment places, for example, disco clubs, yes, sports clubs, and so on. They try to add it all if they wish, yeah. So I think here is group work. 3 groups will work on these projects, and they have to think about their criteria, yes, to be evaluated by the other group's children. So it is use independently appropriate layout at the next level on a range of general and curricular topics. Also, they develop their arguments supported when they have discussed with the help of examples and reasons, and of course they try to give the main idea on their posters. Yes. Now, all these imaginative cities of the future given on the sites, which is given on plan lesson. So when they have finished their posters, they try to swap the posters and to look through all the interesting ideas of each groups, and also the other groups students should assess their of the next group's work. Of course, here is given the criteria on the posters. It is first design and creativity. they should give them from 1 to 3 points. And the second criteria, it is task response. Of course, they have to take their attention, the aspects of the cities, of the future cities, yes. And the third one is spelling and grammar accuracy. When they try to explanation, to give the explanation of their projects, they have to pay attention to the spelling and grammar accuracy, and so it's also from 1 to 3 points marks given. Now, the process goes round, and the teacher controls this process, of course, and tries also to give, in some places, advice and maybe direction, what to do and what to do something in some places. So the students should prepare their project and to do it well during the 10 and 15 minutes, and they should give their names and write down their names on the posters to know what the groups work it. So the next is So they should give the points to their posters, and they also have each group have 3 questions on the posters. If they don't understand the next group's posters about the city of the future, they could ask the questions, and they at first they have put down it on their copybooks and think about it. What do they mean giving this design or this part of the city or this aspect and so on. The students, when they have finished viewing the posters of each group's work, and they sit down and asks each group asks and answers all questions. So to understand the main idea of each city of the future. Here is also assessment of peer work and group work, and also their speaking, which is given S2 and S5. So I think the teacher will monitor and try to give the correction maybe, and try to direct the students' work. At the end, the students should hand on the posters on the wall. Yeah. So the next task is the sightseeings of Astana. When the teacher starts this task, the teacher gives a bit information about Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. Here is, of course, will be the children's group work and the questions, yes, and the task matching, yes, matching the names and pictures. So before the teacher gives the information about the city of our country, and also Astana is called the city of the future. So when the Kazakhstan, our president Nursultan Nazarbayev gives the order to move the capital from Almaty to Astana in 1997. It was so little as a village town, which is surrounded only 1,200 kilometers, and it was also the provincial town, dotted across the world's largest steppe, a flat, empty expanse of grassland. So it was called Akmola, which was then an empty patch of the land by the Ishim River, and which has drawn a comparison to a giant lollipop. Yes. So today it is so recognizable science fiction-like skyline has started to earn the international recognition. So it is that's why it is called the city of the future. Neil Billet, a managing director and a partner of the Bureau Harold, the engineering consultants that partnered with a Posters firm in the designing of Khan Shatir and the Palace of Peace. He lauds the local architects' progressive thinking. So he said, they do quite like a challenge, and they do organize themselves to get on with the making progress in the way that is so refreshing. And he also said that these projects would have taxed the mind of many of high-end constructors. And in Kazakhstan, they have to address the same problems in a much harder climate. Climate is so changeable, but it is one of the good, attractive place for tourists nowadays. And according to George Kelleris, a structure engineer of Bureau Harold, the temperature proved particularly challenging when constructing the Palace of Peace. So he said, we had to allow a system that relieved the stress and let the structure breathe. Of course, it was sometimes difficult for them to relieve the stress and, of course, to do this kind of high-rise buildings. The solution they came up with was to look down one corner of the pyramid while placing the remaining corners on bridge bearings. So common with bridges, such bearings are practically unheard with entire buildings. Basically, it is on roller skates, he says. Because of the climate, the structure was bound to be futuristic. So he noted that at that moment the city was building, the city will be noted, yes, and was noted that the city will be the future of the city nowadays, yeah. So since then, this Astana became became the country's capital, and the population of the country, the population of Astana, has doubled to 750,000. Despite this urban growth, the size of new buildings can still seem excessively large. We can note that Central Concert Hall is one of the largest in the world, which can give the seats 3,500 viewers. And while the Astana Arena has seats 30,000 spectators. So it is one of the, how to say it, advantages of the city. So you need to understand Kazakh background to get a better picture of our world view. We are a nomadic civilization that developed over thousands of years in the vast expanse of Eurasia. Free space is more impressive in the Kazakh steppes, which gives a mindset than the type of congestion found in many European centers. So I think in these words we can find the meaning which who give a lot according to our city. Next, after giving the teachers information about Astana city, children start matching the names of biggest and most attractive buildings in Astana. So the children will be handed out the worksheet with the pictures of buildings, the greatest high-rise buildings, and so the students start working on this. When the Parliament Hall, so it is they have to name the picture or to direct picture 1 or 2 or 3, and they can give if they have more some information about these buildings, they can share with their classmates. So when they finish with matching the names of biggest and most attractive buildings in Astana, they can ask questions also if they are interested in some each other, and they discuss and share their opinions about the impressions, about the information. So in such way they work in groups and individually, and they try to make some information on their copybooks. The teacher always try to give this advice and notice. So when they have done this task, the students watch the video about Astana. So the students watch this video, and of course they have the impression of the given sentences, and of course the tallest buildings and the view of the city. So they could ask the questions and try to understand the meaning. And if when I start finishing my lesson, there will be the feedback, and the teacher asks the students to look through the projects which have been done by them, and answer their questions on their copybooks. The first question is, how clear were your ideas? And the second question, what did we do well on this lesson? And what could we improve next time? So they try to give their answers on their copybooks. So, the last task is the homework. The students should continue and find information about the skyscrapers and the interested buildings and places of the cities of the future, and tell about it at the next lesson to their classmates. So, thank you very much for attention. Successful work, I wish. Thank you.